Hello, good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome to WISE Institute's seminar on religion, extremism, and the digital age, navigating challenges and solutions. My name is Zainab, and I will be the person who's facilitating the introductory remarks today. I'm coming to you live from New Jersey. I want to talk a little bit about the seminar before introducing the speakers. Again, the seminar is Religion, Extremism, and the Digital Age, Navigating Challenges and Solutions. And our aim is to be the beacon of insightful scholarship and meaningful exchange to harness the collective wisdom of scholars, thinkers, and practitioners from all around the globe, as you will hear today, to confront the intricate web of challenges posed by religious extremism in the digital era. People you will hear today, through rigorous philosophical analysis and innovative problem solving, have created a path towards a more tolerant, inclusive, and harmonious digital world where diverse religious voices can coexist in peace. I would like to introduce the director of WISE Institute, Dr. Ali Ünsal, for his welcoming remarks. He graduated from Ankara University in Turkey in 1994. He received his master's from Marmara University in Turkey again, and his PhD in Islamic theology. He was the president of the American Turkish Friendship Association in Fairfax, Virginia, and has served as a chaplain for Veterans Affairs Medical Center in the DC area. He has volunteered as the chairman of the board of Rumi Forum. He founded the Institute of Islamic and Turkish Studies and has served as the executive director. Between 2009 and 17, throughout the years, he has served as the director of the Fethullah Gülen Chair at Sargı Fethullah State Islamic University in Jakarta, where he was also a lecturer. Currently, he is the deputy director of Wisdom Islamic Studies and Education, and he has published 4 books and translated many from Arabic to Turkish. Please take it away, Dr. Nal.
Thank you very much, Ms. Moderator. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear guests, speakers, and participants, welcome to our international seminar. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude and respect to the esteemed Dr. Muhammad Bahauddin, Vice Chancellor of Darul Huda University, Islamic University, Mr. Zufar Ahmed Farooqi, Chairman of Uttar Pradesh Sunni Central Waqf Board, Mr. S. Satyamurthy, former Deputy Comptroller and Auditor General of India and CEO of Anti-Corruption Academy in India, Dr. Zeki Sarutoprak, Associate Professor, Department of Theology and Religious Studies, John Carroll University in the United States, Mr. S.M. Khan, former press advisor of President of India, Vice President, India Islamic Cultural Center, Mr. Umar Siddiqui, President of Idea of India Foundation, and President of Anti-Corruption Academy India, for honoring us with their presence at this event. I also would like to thank our collaborators, Darul Huda University, Anti-Corruption Academy, and Idea of India Foundation. Especially, I extend my sincere gratitude to my dear friend and brother, Dr. Muhammad Abul Mufazzal from Hira Forum, who has been unwavering in his genius assistance since the beginning of the preparations of this seminar, and has been a source of inspiration for it. On behalf of the WISE Institute, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us for this international online seminar on religion, extremism, and the digital age, navigating challenges and solutions. Let me give you a brief information about WISE Institute. Wisdom Islamic Studies and Education is a non-profit organization dedicated to enriching the lives of individuals and communities through the pursuit of Islamic knowledge and fostering harmonious relationships. WISE strives to empower individuals with a deeper understanding of Islamic principles, cultivate a sense of unity and collaboration with the Muslim community, and foster interfaith understanding and dialogue. Distinguished guests, in the age of the internet and social media, religion has found a new and powerful platform for expression and engagement. However, this has also caused a breeding ground for extremism, as online spaces provide a paradise for those who seek to promote radical ideologies. We are honored to have you join us in exploring this critical and timely topic as we navigate an increasingly interconnected and technologically driven world. The intersection of religion, extremism, and the digital age presents both challenges and opportunities. Through this seminar, we aim to foster a deeper understanding of the complex dynamics at play and identify strategies for promoting positive religious engagement and countering online extremism. We are particularly grateful to our distinguished speakers, whose expertise and insights will undoubtedly enrich our discussions. Their presentations will shed light on the multifaced aspects of this topic, providing us with valuable guidance as we seek to address these challenges and embrace the positive potential of the digital age. To our participants, we extend our sincere appreciation for your willingness and attend in these important discussions. Your active participation and diverse perspectives will be instrumental in shaping our understanding of this critical topic. As we embark on this journey of exploration and learning, we encourage you to embrace open-mindedness, engage in constructive dialogue, and share your insights freely. Together, we can foster a more harmonious and enlightened world where diverse perspectives coexist peacefully and technology is used for the betterment of humanity. I'm grateful for your time and attention. I look forward to a productive and informative seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Insal. First and foremost, I would like to introduce Professor Dr. Mohammed Bauddin. He's the founding Vice Chancellor of Darul Huda Islamic University in India. He has authored numbers of books, treatises, edited volumes, and translations in Arabic, English, Malayalam, spanning Quranic studies, Islamic jurisprudence, Hadith, education, Sufism, comparative religion, Arab language and literature, and Islamic history. He is the editor-in-chief of an international journal of Islamic studies. He has been honored as one of the world's 500 most influential Muslims, which is featured on the 2024 edition of the book, The Muslim 500, published by the Royal Islamic Strategic Center of Amman, Jordan, in collaboration with Georgetown University of USA. He is regarded as the only Muslim scholar from India on the scholarly list, while several Indians have also been added to the religious administration and cultural categories. Unfortunately, due to last-minute changes, he could not join us today, but he has sent us a video which we would like to watch together.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Esteemed speakers and distinguished guests, I extend my warm welcome to Mr. Zafar Ahmad Farooqi, Chairman, Uttar Pradesh Sunni Central Waqf Board, the moderator Zainab Chakmak, opening addresser Dr. Ali Unsal, Director of Voice Institute USA, Mr. Satyamurthy, CEO, Anti-Corruption Academy, India, Mr. Umar Siddiqui, President, Anti-Corruption Academy, India, and Dr. Zaki Sartoprak, Associate Professor in the Department of Theology and Religious Studies at John Carroll University, USA. Your presence here today reflects the shared commitment to exploring the complex intersection between religion, extremism, and the digital age. As the Vice Chancellor of Darul Huda Islamic University, India, I am honored to address this esteemed gathering in the inaugural session of the International Online Seminar on Religion, Extremism, and the Digital Age, Navigating Challenges and Solutions. This conference, with its focus on the profound impact of the digital age on religious expression and the rise of extremism, is both timely and crucial in our contemporary world. Darul Huda Islamic University, rooted in its mission, vision, and philosophy, also strives to navigate the challenges posed by the digital age within the context of religion and extremism. Our mission encompasses the development of Islamic scholars who not only understand and propagate Islam but are also equipped to navigate the complexities of modern education. We emphasize a holistic and integrated approach, fostering personal, spiritual, and intellectual development while promoting unity and excellence in education. In the pursuit of these goals, Darul Huda recognizes the importance of effectively addressing sectarian divides within the religion. Our philosophy, grounded in the principles of hierarchy and unit of knowledge, aims to create an academic environment where Islamic education and modern knowledge is blended together. We believe in the Islamization of knowledge and the establishment of international research centers to maintain the intellectual tradition alive, fostering a generation of scholars who can lead with virtue. Our graduates, known as Hudawis, connected with Dar al-Huda, are actively involved in the research, teaching, dawah activities, community leadership, and more. The Hudawis Association for Devoted Islamic Activities, Hadiya, actively contributes to these pursuits, and our alumni continue to prove the potential in various spheres. The theme of the conference also resonates with our vision as we strive to be a bastion of expertise in Islamic education, reviving the educational excellence of past Muslim societies in the face of modern challenges. Now we are delved into the profound nexus between religion, extremism, and the digital age. It is essential to underscore the role that Islam can play as a solution. Islam, as exemplified in the Quranic verse, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ, emphasize the middle way, advocating for moderation and balance. This principle serves as a guiding light in navigating the challenges posed by extremism in the digital age. The teachings of Islam encourage believers to be witness to the humanity, asserting the middle and moderate path, steering clear of both extremes. In the face of the digital age, potential to amplify divisive ideologies, Islam provides a framework for fostering tolerance, constructive dialogue, and mutual understandings. Muslims, guided by their religious teachings, can be at the forefront of promoting a moderate and tolerant global community. The challenges posed by the digital age demand innovative and pragmatic approaches. Islam, with its emphasis on seeking knowledge and promoting excellence, provides a foundation for addressing these challenges. The integration of Islamic principles into educational practices, as practiced at Darul Islamic University, is a step towards ensuring that the next generation is equipped to engage with the digital world while upholding the values of tolerance and unity. As this seminar serves as a platform for scholars, researchers, intellectuals, and practitioners to collectively navigate the intricate challenges arising from the convergence of religion, extremism, and the digital age, by drawing upon the wisdom of diverse perspectives and exploring solutions rooted in the teaching of Islam, we can strive for a more harmonious and cohesive coexistence in the digital era. Together, we can contribute to the development of a global community that embraces the middle path, fostering an environment of tolerance, understanding, and mutual respect. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to the enriching discussions and insights that will unfold in the sessions ahead. Insha'Allah. Wallahu al-muwaffiq. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We would like to extend our thanks to Dr. Bahideen for that video. Up next, we have Mr. Ahmed Faruqi, who's currently serving his fourth term as chairman of the Sunni Center Waqf Board. He's here today as a distinguished speaker and socially influential personality. With a wealth of experience and leadership, he has played a pivotal role in guiding the board's endeavors. Beyond his responsibilities at the board, he holds an esteemed position of president and chief trustee of the Indo-Islamic Cultural Foundation, where his visionary leadership has fostered initiatives promoting cultural understanding and harmony. Recognized for his eloquence and insight, Mr. Faruqi frequently engages as a speaker, sharing his perspectives on social issues and interfaith dialogue. It's my pleasure to introduce him today.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very much thankful to you for the opportunity to speak here and would like to extend my heartiest congratulations to the organizers for such a wonderful event. These type of events are the need of the hour for betterment of our society and our world at large. Coming to the topic, this menace of extremism, religious or any other extremism, is one that is of utmost significance. It is a threat to our world, our country, our society, and indeed our family and each and every single one of us. We must understand that digital world is an extension of the world within which we live. As such, the same considerations for our day-to-day society are also at play in the digital world. I'm sorry, I must keep my address to you purely in the world of digital life. Therefore, we must think of the virtual world and the physical world as the two sides of the same coin. What I shall say from now on is as equally applicable to the digital world as to the physical world. In addressing this intricate issue of virtual platforms becoming breeding grounds for religious extremism, it is essential to delve deeper into the complexities that underpin this phenomenon. Several recent studies have shed light on the alarming transformation of seemingly innocuous online communities into hubs for radicalization, resulting in tangible real-world consequences. Considering the far-reaching impact of violence triggered by misinformation propagated through digital channels, this underscores the inextricable connection between the virtual and physical realms. The virtual world, rather than being detached from reality, acts as an amplification mechanism for extreme views, fostering an environment conducive to intolerance that transcends the digital space and spills into our offline lives. One key enabler of this virtual breeding ground for extremism is the cloak of anonymity provided by the digital platforms. Several studies have demonstrated that a direct correlation between increased anonymity and proliferation of extremist language. Users shielded by the virtual veil feel emboldened to promote intolerant ideologies without fear of reprisal. This anonymity not only empowers individuals but also poses a significant challenge in tracing and holding them accountable for their actions. As we grapple with far-reaching consequences of virtual extremism, the imperative for governance and stringent laws within the digital realm become increasingly apparent. While attempts have been made to regulate platforms and curb the spread of extremist content, a global concern surfaces in the nexus of social media, elections, and potential interference, exemplified by the role of Facebook and Twitter in recent elections in several countries. Entering the era of artificial intelligence, we stand at a critical crossroads. Artificial intelligence holds the potential to be a formidable ally in combating online extremism through advanced algorithm and machine learning. However, this progress raises ethical questions, demanding a delicate balance between security and privacy as we navigate the uncharted territory of artificial intelligence intervention in the digital landscape. Shifting our focus to solutions, fostering interfaith and intercultural dialogues emerges as a crucial pillar in addressing the roots of virtual extremism. These dialogues serve as a powerful antidotes, breaking down the walls of ignorance and cultivating empathy between diverse communities. Importantly, the harmony and healthy relationship between communities offline can be mirrored and reinforced on online platforms through a grassroots approach that promotes understanding and respect. In contemplating the battle against virtual religious extremism, a multifaceted approach is imperative. Governance, laws, and technological interventions must work synergistically to ensure the digital realms remains a force for good. Simultaneously, grassroots initiatives promoting intercultural and interfaith harmony become key agents not only in combating online extremism, but also in replacing it with positive engagement. As we navigate this intricate landscape, it is paramount to remain vigilant and proactive, recognizing that the responsibility extends beyond governments and platforms. Each individual plays a crucial role in shaping the digital space. Only through collective commitment can we foster an environment where virtual platforms serve as tools for constructive dialogue and understanding, ultimately uniting rather than dividing societies. We need to approach the nuanced facets of governance and legislation within the digital realm so as to better combat unpleasant and untoward activities. The need for stringent laws is underscored by attempts made to regulate platforms and curb the spread of extremist content. However, the effectiveness of such measures hinges on international cooperation, considering the borderless nature of the internet. The interconnectedness of social media, elections, and potential interference, exemplified by several virtual platforms' role in recent elections in several democracies, necessitates a global perspective on digital governance. Within this evolving landscape, the ethical considerations surrounding artificial intelligence demands careful examination. While artificial intelligence offers unprecedented potential in identifying and mitigating harmful content, it also raises concerns about privacy and potential for algorithmic bias. Striking a delicate balance between leveraging artificial intelligence for security purposes and respecting individual privacy rights is crucial. As we embrace artificial intelligence solutions, an ongoing dialogue involving technologists, policymakers, and ethicists become essential to establish ethical guidelines that align with democratic principles. Turning our attention to the grassroots level, fostering interfaith and intercultural dialogues requires proactive efforts. Initiating initiatives promoting understanding and respect at the community level can create a ripple effect, countering online hate and extremism. Investing in educational programs that promote digital literacy and critical thinking skills become paramount, empowering individuals to navigate the online world responsibly. As we consider the responsibility lying with each individual, online platforms play a pivotal role in shaping user behavior. Striking a balance between freedom of expression and prevention of harm is a delicate task. Platforms like YouTube and Twitter, as major influencers of global discourse, must actively engage in self regulation. This involves not only the removal of explicit extremist content, but also implementation of measures that discourage the spread of misinformation. The ongoing challenge lies in crafting a regulatory framework that preserves the right to free speech while mitigating the risk associated with virtual extremism. This requires a nuanced understanding of complex interplay between governance, technology, and societal values. Collaborative efforts between governments, tech companies, and civil society are imperative to strike in this delicate balance. The battle against virtual religious extremism as against real-world extremism around the world demands a comprehensive strategy. While governance and legislation provides the regulatory foundation, technological intervention, particularly artificial intelligence, offer promising tools for combating online extremism. Simultaneously, grassroots initiatives promoting intercultural understanding and digital literacy form the bedrock of a resilient society. As we navigate this complex landscape, vigilance and proactive engagement and a collective commitment to shaping the digital space are paramount. We hope to work together in achieving this goal, and I'm again much thankful to all of you for inviting me to speak with you on this platform. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much, Dr. Faruqi, for that talk. Up next, we have Mr. Satyamurthy. His career trajectory of 54 years is quite expansive. He has specialized in banking, economics, auditing, and accounting. He has served prestigious roles in the Indian government and in the Ministry of Government in India. Currently, he is the Honorary Executive Director of Anti-Corruption Academy of India. During his tenure and experience, he has gained exposure, particularly in the Ministry of Shipping and Human Resources. He has led Indian delegations to Singapore, Greece, Hungary, Italy, Germany, Turkmenistan, and Peru. He has authored over 17 books and has written a weekly column for 10 years. He has delivered several professional lectures, participated in international conferences such as this one, and has acted as a brand ambassador in addition to many other roles he has held during his professional journey. And it's our honor to have him here today to share his experience with us.
I have benefited from the two lectures which I have heard so far. I am giving my presentation slightly differently. Thanks to the organizers who have extended me the honor to present this address in this convention on religion, extremism, and digital age. What a captivating title. What a mesmerizing topic. When I turned the title over and over again in my head, my mind mind's eye, blink the Bulbulia of Lucknow, the Sistine Chapel of Rome, and the long corridors of Rameswaram Temple in Tamil Nadu. All of them have beautiful overhang of arches. When one walks through those canopies, one is overwhelmed with the beauty, color, imagination, workmanship, and the whisper of history. The interlink of the arches in those canopies made me wonder at the interlink of the topic, religion, extremism, and digital age. They are so interlinked. They are so related.
Yes,
Concurrently,
Mr. Satya,
I wondered at the credential of mine. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Do you mind lowering your camera just a little bit so we can see you better?
Okay.
There we go. Okay, thank you.
Can you? Concurrently, I wondered at the credentials of mine to present this speech in this inaugural session. The momentous topic to this assembly of international scholars. I collected and consoled myself that I could present the contours and columns of the topic so that the subsequent scholars can can enlarge and expatiate, could dissect and discuss, could design, deliver and dialogue their minds for the benefit of us all. While I am no scholar on any segment of this speech, I am a serious stakeholder. I want my grandchildren and great-grandchildren to breathe easy, walk straight, and live comfortably. I do not want them to be buffeted by bewilderment, strife, unease, violence, hunger, homelessness, or orphan. So I am peeping into the future along with you all to portray and to preserve the world. A world of opportunities and assurances where merit and hard work will be rewarded, and where our progeny will be blessed to enjoy the fruits which Allah had promised to those who lead virtuous lives. In trying to read those tea leaves, a trained mind will invariably hark back to the era of our grandfathers and great-grandfathers to discover the patterns of their lives and lifestyles and the rat holes they had devised to escape from the catastrophe. Before I venture there, let me share with you an obvious predicament. Let us recognize that each one of the vectors in this composite title is an ocean of information and treatises evolved over several centuries to fathom the depths of religion or manifestations of extremism or the vicissitudes of emerging disruptive technology will demand more than a lifetime. What I'll be presenting to you today will but be a slice of the truth. Pardon me for that inadequacy. I'll be more than happy if I have succeeded in triggering the thought process in you all and jogged your minds for a marathon. Let us look at religion first. Religion holds sway over millions of minds across the oceans and across the continents. Religion is at the bottom of the pyramid, providing identity to every Homo sapien. Amongst the rainbow of identities, language, community, caste, nationality, ethnicity, sect and sex. The primacy goes to religion. Why? It overarches all other identities and has provided a bigger canopy of refuge to the threatened man or woman. With the crutches of belief, faith, and religion, humans have evolved from being a member of the hunting group, protecting themselves from ferocious animals, into a member of the civilized citizen, crisscrossing the world. All along he has had the warmth of a family, society, nation, culture, and religion. And human beings cling close to the religious identity. That's why one hears of Muslim world, Hindu Dharma, and Christian ethics. As the evolution from the bottom to the top of the pyramid happened, from hunting and gathering to universal laws, there have been many atrophies and tangential shoot-offs. All religious groups all over the world, divided and subdivided into manageable subgroups and established identities. This happens in the commercial world also. Corporations evolve into holding companies and MNCs, and later divide into zonal, regional, and area-specific companies. Look at Vedanta in India, or Google in the world. This is normal human need and nature. So we have the larger identity of Christianity and smaller identity of Telugu Christians and Tinaveli Christians. Haryana Jat or Punjabi Jat. Sub-identities of language, religion, etc. conflated with religious identity to erect the pyramid. I hope I'm not boring.
No, not at all. But
paradoxically,
you have about 5 minutes left, Mr. Satyamuri.
Okay, so give me about 7 minutes. Paradoxically, there was no religion anywhere in the world before 5,000 years. For a few billion years, man felt safe without religion. So religion is a later day invention. Religion was then a seed, a basic identity. The seed has now grown into a vriksha, a banyan tree. How? Because of the symbiotic relationship between religion, politics, and nationality. These factors propelled the medieval man to modernity and provided a heady cocktail to expand the empire of control and sphere of influence. Today, these identities are indistinguishable. A Muslim man is from Middle East, but he may be a liberal. A Christian man is from Europe, but he may be autocrat. And the Hindu man is from India, may be ascetic. People have different religion, and they may have different political ideologies and different economic orientations. What the Muslim men have in common all over the world is common religious practices and religious rites. Though they may live in different geographic domains and speak different languages. Many of them may or may not be Democrats, moderates, or they could be oligarchs and religious bigots. Extremism is milder than terrorism. Extremism is localized, sporadic, randomized, and the fallout is managed by local governments. India has recorded several instances of extremism and have been addressed by the local governments. For an international conference with such eminent minds and policy makers, terrorism could be a more apt topic. Terrorism is sans borders, with more detailed planning and delivers havoc of greater magnitude. So let me describe the contours of terrorism in this august assembly. Terrorism is not based on religion alone, but is conflated with political power. The advocacy for the modern caliphate has emanated from ISIS and not from any ulema who is the religious leader. No doubt, ISIS will attempt to ensure adherence to the religious rights and practices, but with the political overtones. Iran, though a Muslim country, is against ISIS and the emergence of caliphate. On the other hand, there would have been no 100 years of war because it was all within Christian land. The Kalinga War was within Hindu land, and religion was in the back burner. These could not be conveniently wrapped within the framework of clash of cultures because the terror and wars were unleashed within the fold of same culture. So was Allied and Axis mega war in the last century. ISIS is a terrorism and a psychological war. Terrorists attempt to occupy the minds and imaginations of the adversaries to benumb their brain. Brutality is their leitmotiv. Recall the 9/11 terror or 26 November Mumbai blast. What still reigns over our imagination is the collapse of the Twin Tower or the smoke billowing from the Taj Hotel. So terrorists have occupied our imagination forever. They had not waged the terror to spread Islam, but the liberal democratic governance in those areas was poor. Lately, Hamas has proved that Israeli intelligence is not invincible, and the world has woken up to the reality. Hamas has also proved they have counter strategies to the overland superiority of the Israeli firepower. In sum, religion is one of the identities in the portfolio of identities of human beings. Religion is always conflated with myriad other identities which human history has evolved over millennia. Look at the Ukrainian war. It is not religion, but a political war. So right through history, terror has not been solely based on religious beliefs, but conflated with politics. Terrorism is half-brother of religion. Right through history, religion rode on the political ambitions and desire for wealth to expand the sphere of culture. Horses with hoof shoes and cannons with mobility won the wars instead of elephants, arrows, and spears. Then dynamite sticks appeared. Today, smart bombs and drones win the wars for terrorists. In other words, technology is the youngest half-brother of religion and terrorism. It's for this reason I had mentioned religion, extremism, and technology are interlinked in an overarching arc. These days, what is foretold of technological future is but imperfect, inadequate, and short-term prognosis. Futurologists stem their studies on nuclear energy and miniaturization technologies. You may be amazed to know that there are tabletop nuclear reactors available these days. But terrorists are not reaching out to nuclear and chemical technologies. The only terrorist to have used nuclear weapons is American government. Similarly, it was Syrian government that had used chemical weapons against their own citizens to muffle voices of opposition. It was again Americans who used chemical weapons in Vietnam War. But the terrorists blew up Twin Towers with the help of modified drones. Weapons of mass destruction is not what the terrorists used. They supplement basic weapons with the element of surprise and suddenness to win the wars. They offer the allure of religion and alternative form of governments as add-ons. This will always be so because terrorists lack all forms of resources for governance, be it finance, human capital, military might, or scientific backup. So they are not a state. The terrorists use basic modified technologies and have the ability to innovate and attack. The terrorists may partner with the mercenary army since they do not have adequate manpower or demographic power. The ISIS, the Hamas, the Houthis, and the Hezbollah are in the same boat, designing, delivering, and defending the war. Talk about the American use of nuclear weapons or Syrian, Turkish use of chemical weapons brings to the table the challenge of state terrorism or state extremism. Russia.
Mr. Satyamurthy, 2 more minutes,
Two
okay?
more minutes, madam. 2 more minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Russia, Israel, China, North Korea, Philippines practice state terrorism to quell any form of opposition to the established government. Gathering intelligence on their own citizens is the flavor of governance in modern times. This is another form of state terrorism. Individual liberty is but a lip service. Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, Instagram, emails, YouTube, WhatsApp, etc. are sieved for critical information. Most democratic countries with wanted constitutions on right to privacy prey on their own citizens' lives, conversations, and opinions. Even dustbins are scourged. Orwellian 1984 is the world order today. In this scenario, state terrorism is to be feared more by the citizens and intellectuals. More macabre situation is when the governments engage in contract killing or supari in foreign lands, disrespecting international law on sovereignty. I am aware that this kind of my talk is outside the moral of today's presentation, but we need to juxtapose state and religious terrorism to weigh in the relative danger. To highlight both forms of terrorism as war on human civilization based on identities of religion, nationality, and ideology is to open the vista for the ensuing discussion. Let us now go back to emerging technology in human history, our main connecting voice of the event. I have already characterized the contemporary discussions and descriptions of technology as partial and pathetic. Digital technology is engaging our attention, and today, exactly today, the European Union seems to have hammered out a code of conduct. More and more governments will prescribe the SOPs to regulate the field. Now we are at the threshold of AI, which is going to unleash transformative changes. Today, the developing technology is not merely disruptive, but propelling humanity to an unimaginable future. And the pace of change of technology is mind-boggling. There are times, that arc of time from steam engine to combustion engine to jet engine was an ever-quickening change. Next in the waiting room is the hydrogen engine. The pace of change in technology, especially in the area of Internet of Things, is threatening. As an example, the software AlphaZero in chess is cited. Chess had evolved over centuries, but AlphaZero was perfected in 4 years, which is unbeatable by man or machine. The famous philosopher historian of this century, Mr. Yuval Noah Harari, says that the two emerging disruptive technologies, namely communication and bioengineering, are colluding to change the course of human history. Hitherto, technology helped human beings to make external developments by enabling forging of hunting and farming tools, erecting dams and hydroelectric plants. But the focus of technology for the future world is artificial intelligence, machine language, bioengineering, and monolith data sets. Bioengineering can profile an individual with iris movements, facial muscle reactions, hand and leg movements, heartbeats, blood pressure, etc. Together with AI, the emerging technology will venture into the minds of men to predict and manipulate feelings to benefit business and political bosses. AI can construct a range of psychological tools, which is fearsome. Bioengineering may be conducive to longevity, medical surgeries, etc. But bioengineering will also reshape the brain to erase feelings so that science can control society. So much so, future of man on this planet will be worse than the Orwellian dystopia. He will no more be only wired, but warped. What was attempted in the 4 billion years of human society was to understand and conquer nature, but today the science is attempting to control human beings. No more nature, but human beings. To put it succinctly, in the words of Harari, technology helped man to kill mosquitoes, and now technology will kill the minds of men. So what if technology manipulates human beings? Majority of men and women will become irrelevant. Already a significant majority of human beings do not understand what is blockchain, Bitcoin, cloud kitchen, dark web, driverless cars, precision agriculture, etc. Several $1 million are lost every year through cybercrime, because many do not comprehend the methodologies of cyber world. Thus, so many of us have become irrelevant even in the current world.
Dr. Satyamurni, we really have to move on.
1 minute.
We have three more speakers that we have to get to.
Agreed. Only 1 more minute. I finished.
Okay.
So what will human beings do? How will they spend time, such time themselves? The humankind, it is envisaged, will engage itself in care industry, senior care, child care, student care, etc. Because men will have no income, to buy without without consumption, world economy cannot prosper. So super welfare states will arrive out of necessity. Already we have examples of super welfare states in Scandinavian countries. And human beings will necessarily march back in time. They'll become nature worshippers. Such even on already the Jews on certain days refuse to do any physical labor. Such practice will not be cured in the future, but will be common amongst human beings. Worthlessness or of the ordinary mortals will be the characteristic of the future. We have traveled the full circle. We started with nature. And technology is pushing us to nature. We'll have to believe in philosophy more than science. The Vice Chancellor mentioned in his speech that we should promote moderate individuals, moderate thoughts to have peace in this world. And the second speaker mentioned that regulation will be the only way to control technology for the benefit of human beings. I totally agree with them, and I see no other way in which the humanity can survive. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for that insightful speech, Mr. Satyamurthy. Up next, we have Zeki Sagatoprak, who is the Bediüzzaman Said Nursi Chair in Islamic Studies and professor in the Department of Theology and Religious Studies at John Cairn University in Ohio. He received his PhD in Islamic theology from the University of Marmara in Turkey. His most recent books are Islam's Jesus and the Islamic Spirituality, Theology and Practice for the Modern World, which were published by University of Press Florida and Bloomsbury Academy, respectively. He is the author of numerous academic articles and encyclopedia entries on topics in Islamic studies. He is currently working on 2 projects. One is a book on Islamic eschatology, and the other is a co-authored book on Islamic thought. Welcome, Dr. Sagatoprak.
Thank you. First of all, thank you to the organizers, the WISE Institute, for bringing us together for this important event and for inviting me to be one of the keynote speakers today. Yes, we are living in a very important but also dangerous time. A time when words travel across the world at the speed of sound and can reach the world's 7 billion people in a matter of moments. One post on social media can be as destructive to communities today as the biggest weapons of war of the past. One negative word on social media can be completely destructive to an individual, a community, or even more. On the other hand, a positive word, a word of praise or compassion, can have the opposite effect. It can lift up entire peoples and communities and has the potential to bring us together and further social harmony. So Islam has much to teach us in both regards. And as a professor of Islamic studies and a scholar of Islamic theology, I will focus my talk on Islamic approach to social media. So let me start with a simple question. What does Islam teach us about social media? Islam, as a religion, has much to say about modern technologies and societies. And of course, social media is no exception. In fact, there is much in the Quran and in the sayings of the Prophet, and more broadly in the Islamic tradition, that give us a good guide for how to use and utilize social media and other elements of social media, elements of communication that we have at our disposal to the modern technology, thanks to the modern technology. So at the outset, it should be noted. Can you hear me? Is there a problem? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. At the outset, it should be noted that in Islam, technology is considered a divine gift. Technology is considered a divine gift and could be used in a bad or good ways. It is the way that technology is used that is either positive or negative. Social media is one such digital technology, and Islam does not inherently see it as good or evil. It depends on how people use them. So if you use it in a positive way, it becomes very praiseworthy. But if you use it in a negative way, it becomes evil. In thinking about the aspects of technology in Islam as it relates to social media, we should begin with a Quranic verse. And this Quranic verse in chapter 2, verse 83, which tells all people that وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. A command, a divine command, saying that say to people good words. The full verse is as follows. And remember, we took a covenant from the children of Israel. Worship none but God. Treat with kindness your parents and kin and orphans and those in need. Speak beautifully to people. That is the point that I like to make. Speak beautifully to people. Be steadfast in prayer and practice regular charity. Speak beautifully to people is mentioned in the categorization of worship and charity. This simple command is at the heart of an Islamic approach to social media. There is no place for ugliness of word or action in Islam. Even when negative words might be called for, there is no reward in Islam for them. Islamic scholars have noted that negative words, cursing others, even if those people deserve it, has no reward in the afterlife. 10 minutes of good, praiseful words brings more benefit and reward than a whole day of negative words. Let me repeat this statement. 10 minutes of good, praiseful words, 10 minutes, brings more benefit and reward than a whole day of negative words. Therefore, to maintain husnul khuluq, or the beautiful manners, kindness is a principle that is instilled in people based on this Quranic verse. Additionally, the word used in the verse when it speaks of the recipients of these beautiful words is nas, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ, human beings. It says to speak good words to human beings. That includes both believers and non-believers. When you speak as a believer, you speak beautiful words. Too often, we choose not to speak such beautiful words to those with whom we disagree. And we become victims of our anger. We forgot what the Prophet reminds us, that the hero is the one who is able to swallow his anger when he becomes angry. That's the prophetic hadith. When he asks his companions, who is the hero? And they say, we think that the hero is the one who defeats his rival in wrestling. And the Prophet says, no. The hero is the one who swallows his anger when he is angry. So, and occasionally and frequently, not even occasionally, frequently, people are becoming victims of their anger. And this is apparent in the social media. So social media has a big problem in this regard. The ugliness of social media discourse is one of the hallmarks. The anonymity of posting and the quickness of posts and reactions lead to users not thinking about the consequences of their actions. And this in turn leads to the worst of human behavior towards fellow human beings. In this time of rapid social media communication, bad things and good things are both rapidly multiplied. And I think this important point that I like to make, the one thing, one evil is not remaining as a one evil. One evil is multiplied because of the social media. And in the same way, one good also not remaining as a one good. It is multiplied. This leads to another important implication for Muslims. If one slanders or backbites another person or transgresses on the privacy of another person, this is a great sin, and the opposite is reward-worthy. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, anyone who covers the deficit of a believer, God will cover his deficit in the afterlife. And social media, unfortunately, is displaying the deficits of people, not respecting the privacy of people. Too often, this sin is found in social media. Moreover, on social media, that one instance of sin will be duplicated and replicated many tens, hundreds, thousands, or even millions of times over. Each time the original is repeated or reproduced, the sin multiplies. So a small slide posted quickly without thinking can lead to a great sin. There is a story in Islamic teaching that says, because Cain, Qabil, murdered Abel, because Qabil murdered Habil, whenever a murder occurs, the sin of that murder goes not just to the murder, but an equal portion of sin goes to Cain as well, because he was the one who started. There is a hadith of the Prophet which makes this clear. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, he who introduced some good practice in Islam, which was followed after him by people, he would be assured of reward like one who followed it, without their reward being diminished in any respect. And the opposite also is true. The Prophet says, and he who introduced some evil practice in Islam, which had been followed subsequently by others, he would be required to bear the burden like that of one who followed this evil practice, without theirs being diminished in any respect. So such would be the case on social media. If you repost a slanderous story or hurtful gossip, accusing someone or some of actions they did not commit it, that action, that posting is not only one sin for you, but the same amount of sin is given to the post originator. So for example, one person started a false information about someone. The first post. After that, 1,000,000 times that post is repeated. So each time that post is repeated actually brings another sin to the originator. And that is how the sin in this era is not remaining as a one sin, but it is multiplied. And it becomes great, unbelievably great. There is a story I like to share with you, and that is from an Islamic scholar, Bediüzzaman Said Nursi. While working on this talk, I found very interesting letter that he wrote to his students. In the beginning of his letter, he says, an issue suddenly occurred to the heart. This is in his book called Kastamonu Lahikası. And I think this is the first time this letter is translated into English. It is my own translation. So I will just read for you, and I hope it is understood, because translations are not always good enough to convey the message, but I think this should be successful. So Nursi says to his students, with regard to the end of times, there are hadith narrations suggesting that the deeds and the sins of an individual constitute a great and unimaginable total. The sins and evils of one individual becomes unimaginably big, great. In the past, I used to think, how can an ordinary person commit sins equal to thousands of people? And what sins are these in the end of time that are so big that they attack the foundation of the universe and cause the day of judgment to occur and lead to the destruction of the worlds beyond the sin we know? What are the sins that could be? So he says, I was thinking of this. Now in this era, we have seen many causes that are explaining these hadith narrations. In his era, so he passed away in 1960. At that time, probably the only available social media would be radio. So he gives an example from radio. For example, of the multiple aspects of these narrations, radio broadcasts show one venue for them, With one word, a single individual can commit 1 million major sins at once. And by making millions of people listen, he leads them into sin. So one person is committing millions of sins by just uttering one word. Yes, the radio waves, which speaks in hundreds of thousands of words at once, at one of the planet's tongues, it was given to human beings as a gift. And this is the idea that I mentioned. Technology is a gift given to human beings. Yes, human beings are using their mind, but that mind also is given by God to human beings. And God inspires people to find venues, to find things that will be helping them to communicate beautifully. It is a gift. As a response to this gift, people have to fill the air with thankfulness and gratitude and praise. Instead of this, they use this gift for human indulgence that comes from the misguidance and that will bring a slap to humanity, a destruction to humanity at the end. If humanity, I'm interpreting his words, if humanity does not show thankfulness to these divine gifts, they will receive a punishment from the divine. Just as the extraordinary elements of civilization, Nursi continues, just as these extra elements of civilization are divine gifts, however, civilization did not use them with gratitude and proper actions and turned the divine blessing into destructions. It received such a slap that it lost all the happiness of life, and it lowered the people who are considered the most civilized to the level lower than the most primitive and savage people. Before going to hell, it makes them taste the torment of hell. And he's talking about the First and the Second World War. For example, airplanes were given to humanity to transport, for easy transportation, to make the life of people easier and more comfortable. But those airplanes were used to destroy themselves and others. And therefore that brought civilization into chaos. And that's what he says. Before going to hell, it makes them taste the torment of hell in this world.
Dr. Sartoprak, 2 more minutes, okay?
How many minutes?
2.
2, okay. I'm finishing then. Then he says, yes, radio, with regard to it being a comprehensive gift, requires a comprehensive gratitude. So this social media that we have, if we make this analogy of Nursi, it's a big gift from Allah. And it requires a comprehensive thankfulness. And that comprehensive gratitude is to serve as a universal and multilingual heavenly hafiz. So would you like to use radio in the way of thankfulness? Make this radio a heavenly hafiz to recite the Quran. Recite the Quran through the universe to simultaneously reach all the present addressees of the eternal word of the creator of earth and heavens. Now the earth will become a masjid if you act that way and make these elements of social media and use them in a positive way for the betterment of humanity. If we don't, the consequence is destructive. And that is really what is scary. Nursi reminds us about this, and I like to finish with this paragraph, my last concluding paragraph. Therefore, the civility that Islam requires is to use this technology in a beautiful way and to use honesty and integrity with kindness via technology. To be honest and to be kind in our social media. False information, for example, which is commonly used in social media, is lying. And that is the attribute of disbelievers. A believer cannot put false information on social media. It cannot be the attribute of a believer. Whoever does this, be they Muslim or non-Muslim, goes against the teaching of Islam. The Islamic principle of doing what is beautiful and encouraging people to do good deeds is fulfilling the divine message that describes the Islamic community as a community that commends what is good and forbids what's evil. Doing this through media is essential without spreading harmful and evil words that eventually could bring detrimental consequences for humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sartoprak. Okay, we have two more speakers who will share their insight. Up next, I would like to invite Mr. Han, who is the Senior Indian Information Service Officer of the Government of India, currently serving as Director General, Registrar of Newspapers for India. Prior to his current assignment, he served as the Director General of DoorDash News for over 3 years. During his nearly 13 years service in the Central Bureau of Investigation, India's premier investigation agency, Mr. Han handled several high-profile cases. He has also served as Government of India's Director of Film Festival and represented India at the Cannes and Berlin Film Festivals. He is currently serving as the Press Registrar of India. Welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Greetings to all the esteemed speakers, participants of this seminar. And I am grateful to the WISE Institute for inviting me to address this August gathering. The topic, religion, extremism, and the digital age, is a very important topic in the contemporary world. And though religion is a beautiful thing, but many people believe that lots of problems are created by religious intolerance. I would start with the basic premise that all religions are good and promote peace, compassion, universal brotherhood, and tolerance. The basic aim of every religion is to make us good human beings. And for this purpose, the Almighty created the universe and sent life on the earth. So there is always a superior power which is running this universe and has laid down rules and regulations for our conduct, which have been sent to this world through messengers and in the form of various books in different parts of the world, be it Vedas or Al-Quran or Injil or Torah. The messages have been sent for the purpose of that we should live with each other with love, peace, compassion, and try to help each other. And also, if there are differences, we should resolve those differences by talking to each other, by negotiating with each other, and by respecting the views of each other, and not by creating disturbances and not in any way to create violence against each other. When we come to religion, there are two aspects of every religion. One is the moderate aspect, another is the fundamentalist aspect, and this is the fundamentalist aspect which gave rise to extremism or terrorism. When extremism, as the earlier speaker was saying, that it is localized, terrorism takes a travels across the boundaries, and when extremism becomes more violent, it takes the turn of terrorism. Now the question arises that when religion is a beautiful thing, then what is the reason of extremism or terrorism coming out of certain religious ideas? And it is not restricted to any particular religion. We have seen extremism and terrorism coming out from various religions, the recognized religions in this world. And sometimes it is also seen that some well-established countries, the well-established governments, they also sometimes are using such methods, which sometimes we wonder that whether they are also involved in these kind of activities. When we talk about terrorism, we have to see that what are the reasons of terrorism. Sometimes the reasons are it related to various political and social issues. Sometimes it is related to the issues of territorial disputes. Sometimes it is related to territorial sovereignty. Sometimes it is related to the wrongful occupation of certain land or forcible governance over certain people. And sometimes it is purely related to poverty and unemployment. So when we attack terrorism, we have to have a multi-pronged approach and try to tackle these issues. And for this, there should be a worldwide movement and a lot of interfaith dialogues among various religions cutting across the geographical boundaries of this world. When we see, and also we have to work to have enlightened citizens who believe more in the spiritual content of the religion rather than forcing their views on others or their rituals and things on other people. I worked with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as his press advisor, who was the president of India and a well-known scientist. He always used to say that the only solution to solve these problems is through dialogue, and particularly the interfaith dialogue among various religions. I come from India, and all the 6 major religions of the world exist in this country. So the effort is always that the people should mutually respect each other and try to understand the views of other people. Sometimes, as we see, a major conflict is going on in Middle East, and the recent thing started with the attack by an organization which is described by some people as terrorist organization, but for them, they are the freedom fighters and they are fighting for their land and against the forcible occupation of a country. And they took some action just against the civilians. But in what is happening the last 2 months after the first day of incident, which is highly condemnable by this organization, that a country, a well-established country, is flouting all the norms of international human behavior and is civilized behavior, and it is almost 2 months. So how these problems have to be solved? This is only through dialogue, only through somehow the United Nations is not able to do it. and they are trying their best, but a lot of people have to come forward from the civil society, particularly cutting across countries to ensure that these things don't happen in any part of the world. I remember in India, there was in ancient time, there was a Kalinga war, and after which the king Ashoka, he left this worldly pursuit, and he said that there is no trump in suffering. If you do victory and thousands of people have been killed, there is no use. Similarly, when Khalifa Umar reached Jerusalem, and he said, he is not going to force his way to anybody, because Allah created every human being as equal, and Allah is, as we say in Surah Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah is for everybody in this universe. So now I come to the digital age. You see, sometimes what happens, the various means of media, whether it is traditional media or mass media or social media, and all these platforms of social media like WhatsApp or Instagram or other things, and Facebook, sometimes these tools are used, though they should be used for constructive purposes, but these tools are used for destructive purposes also. So we should also try to ensure that these tools are maximum used for constructive purposes, to spread the message of goodness, to spread the message of universal brotherhood and harmony, rather than issuing messages and creating posts which create disturbances in the society. And sometimes very wrong information is circulated, and once it is circulated, it goes within seconds throughout the world and create a lot of disturbance in the society. We have seen in our country that communal riots have taken place between different religious groups because of some old pictures and posts were circulated on the social media, and which resulted into killings of innocent people. Similarly, I will say that all religions, they give the same message, and ultimately we have to look towards the Almighty, whosoever, whatever name we may call, and try to create a good humanly society in which everybody is respected and everybody's views should be given respect. As far as the spread of terrorism is concerned, because whenever you see, there are different kinds of reasons for spread of terrorism, and the world and the entire world, all the countries have to unitedly work for that, to stop that spread of terrorism and also communalism in the world, and bringing people together. Only then when we can have an orderly society. Everybody has a right for a nice living, a decent living, and if such things happen naturally, the entire society is getting disturbed. Religion is there to motivate you to, and it is also purely a private affair. It should not be mixed with any political activity or try to achieve something by wrongly and by forcing your will on the other people. I would request all the participants in this seminar to continue this movement from wherever they are, to promote religious tolerance, to work against extremism, and also to impress upon their elected representatives and the governments in their country to promote this kind of interfaith dialogue and bringing people together. Because ultimately, civil society is important, but at the same time, the governments in various countries, they have to play a very important role. Recently, we have seen, particularly in the context of the present war which is going on in Middle East, as well as the other war which is going on in Ukraine, that number of times resolutions have come up in the United Nations General Assembly and Security Council, but they are either vetoed, or if they are passed, they are not obeyed. So this kind of, we have to start a movement about this, because ultimately we have an organization which is working for peaceful coexistence and for international peace and order. So that organization has to be respected. And particularly so when every country is there. There are about 193 countries who are the members of the UN. So if we ignore these kind of efforts of bringing peace and bringing religions together and also controlling extremism and terrorism, then naturally our efforts are bound to fail. I would also request for the very constructive use of digital media, and particularly it should be used to control extremism and terrorism rather than to spread disharmony in the society or creating hatred in the society. Thank you very much for patient listening. I will not give an opportunity to the moderator to remind me that my time is finishing. I think I am almost covered the time allotted to me, and we have other distinguished speakers. And I hope that this movement, which has been started by the WISE Institute, will continue in future, because for this subject, we want continuous efforts. It is not going to be solved by one-time seminar or one-time conference. And now with the help of this, again, I will talk, the good use of technology and digital media, that we can talk to each other more frequently, can organize such kind of seminars without traveling from one part of the world to the other part of the world, and we can do it easily. Thank you very much. All the best. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Han. Okay, and before I introduce our last speaker, I just want to say that in addition to people joining from America and India, we have many participants joining from the Philippines. So I want to extend our thanks to them, because I know that time is very late there. So thank you for participating and joining and listening to us. So last but not least, we have Mr. Omar Siddiqui, who's the chairman and CEO and a global entrepreneur, social reformist, and educationalist. He is the managing director of Global Pact Holdings, which specializes in business and technology management. He has managed large software designs and development teams for some Fortune 500 companies. He is currently the president of the prestigious Anti-Corruption Academy and also founder of the think tank foundation named Idea of India. He is an outstanding public speaker and has been interviewed by many media such as BBC, CNN, and we are lucky to have him join us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Zainab. Thanks a lot. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Namaskar, adab, good evening to everyone who has joined from India, and good morning and good afternoon to our friends, brothers and sisters from Europe and United States. It's a privilege, it's a pleasure, and I'm thankful to WISE Institute, Dr. Unsal, and all our esteemed colleague, my dearest brother, Dr. Mufazzal, and all our esteemed colleagues and co-panelists here, that we all have gathered here for a very, very important, I should not say as a topic, it's, I think, the biggest issue in our life at the moment after our bread and butter. Because every day we get up, we find something on our mobile which is completely diluting our energy, our passion, our vision, our understanding, our brotherhood, and it is sucking our energy. And I think the biggest misuse of religion is happening at the moment in the world. And we all are responsible for it. We all are responsible for it. I think somewhere we are not able to convey the message of peace, brotherhood, rahmat, afiyat, barakat of different religions to each other. I think we are not able to. We have failed as a society. We have failed as nations. We have failed as countries. We have failed as governments to bring peace and coexistence. And it is the time that if we want to live, as Mr. Satyamurthy mentioned, that if we want to make this world a beautiful place, we want to make this world a safer place, if we want to make this world a happy place, then as my dearest brother, Mr. S.M. Khan Sahab has just mentioned, that it has to be taken as a movement. It has to be taken as a mission. It should be as important for us as we strive for our daily bread and butter, and we strive for our entrepreneurship, and we strive for our employment, and we strive for our daily routine. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very, very important aspect, because some of the negative forces all across the religion, when I say negative forces, fringe elements, extremists, all across the religions, whether it is in the name of Islam, whether in the name of Hinduism, whether in the name of Christianity, or even in the name of Judaism, I think the way they are taking up and they have hijacked the religion, it is our failure that 99% of the peaceful community all across the world, they are not able to basically combat this extremism. They are not able to combat this terrorism. They are not able to combat this fringe element. So it is the time that we must evaluate ourselves. It's a time of introspection. It's a time we must deliberate, and we should join forces within ourselves, within civil society, all across the world. And also we must talk with our governments, with our people, in our bureaucracy, in our political sphere, that anything can exist in this world except hatred, except extremism. And why we are allowing people to do it? The way social media, the way it's behaving, the way social media is getting used by fringe elements and extremists to propagate their hatred, to propagate their agenda. Why we are allowing them? And how come the organizations like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all these organizations, they are blocking the messages, that is against their policy. Like if someone is like going here and there, they are blocking the messages, but at the same time, they are not blocking the hatred. They are not blocking the extremism. They are not blocking the fringe elements. There is a study that between 2019 to 2021, almost 3 million hate tweets have been posted on Twitter. Almost 3 million, 2.8 million posts have been posted on Twitter. And then again, there is a study that only 15% of those messages have been removed by Twitter. Any message of peace, any message of understanding, any message of dialogue, any message of deliberation, when someone is trying to put forward his mindset, his understanding about a particular subject, there is a fringe element which is coming from, somewhere, whether you are Muslim, in the name of a Muslim, or in the name of a Hindu, or in the name of a Christian, or anyone is coming up, and he or she is just attacking the system, and we don't have any control on that. Is this the religion? This is the extremism? What our schools are doing, what our colleges are doing, what our universities are doing. Are we able to extend our services as an institution to combat this whole situation? Where is our parenting? Where is our parenting? I am asking to each father and each mother all across the world, but where is our parenting? How can you hate someone on the basis of religion? How can you, like inculcate poison in your kids in the name of a religion, in the name of a lifestyle, in the name of a spirituality? Religion leads to spirituality. It's your relationship with your Almighty, with your Creator, with your Bhagwan, with your Ishwar. How can you do it? So even schools have failed miserably. I think the three institutions, they have to play a pivotal role. Parenting at the initial level, if you inculcate the brotherhood, if you inculcate peace, if you inculcate the right directions in your child, if you inculcate the respect for each religion in your child, he can never turn into a fringe element. It is my challenge to anyone that if that bringing is happening, if that printing is happening, it is not going to basically, like make a child a fringe element, an extremist. No, it will not happen. Immediately after parenting, the role of an institution, whether it is a school or it's a college or a university or a madrasa or a dharamshala, the role of that particular institution, and I will take even mosque and mandirs and churches also as an institution of learning, they have to inculcate brotherhood. They have to inculcate peace. They have to give the message of they have to follow, a balancing act, because that is closer to piousness. They have to play that role. They have to inculcate the values of Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Lord Rama, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Jesus Christ, Nelson Mandela. Why we are not inculcating those things? What a powerful personalities! The whole world is following them. We are buying time in front of these extremists, these fringe elements, couple of them, not even 0.01%. They are dictating their terms on us. No, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's a time we must act. And the third institution is the government. They must impose strict regulations, because communalism, extremism, hatred, it leads to terrorism. Religion can't take you to terrorism. No, I don't agree with this thing. If a Hindu is there who is visiting a mandir every day, who is reading Veda, who is reading Ramayana, and a Muslim who is reading Quran every day, the tafsir of Quran, praying 5 times a day, has got the best of the upbringing, he can't turn into a fringe element. It's impossible. The whole thing which is happening, the ecosystem, what has been created by media, a section of the media, the digital, platforms, which has added fuel into this whole situation, that the time has come that the parenting, the institutional upbringing, the role of an institution and a school is very important. And the time has come when governments must realize that they can be here, they can be there, on irrespective of their ideologies. They have to act now to stop this entire hatred, fringe elements, and extremism through the digital media platform, through channels, through YouTube, through Insta, through all these things. And I think we are, on behalf of ID of India, I extend my all cooperation and support to WISE Institute and to other institutes all across the world and India, that we must basically take up this thing as a part of our life, as a duty of our life, and as a responsibility of our life. उनका जो फर्ज है वो अहले सियासत जाने. This is a famous couplet which I will explain. उनका जो फर्ज है वो अहले सियासत जाने, मेरा पैगाम मोहब्बत है जहां तक पहुंचे. Whatever responsibility and accountability a politician has, he should do that. My message is a message of peace and love, and it should go to all corners of the world. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I would like to thank all of their speakers all of the speakers that joined us today for their wonderful introductory remarks. And Dr. Insal, unless you have anything to add, I think we're going to take a short break and we will be joining the other rooms at 11 Eastern time. And then what time is it in India? I'm not so sure.
Also, I would like to thank everybody, and especially in this part of the world, from the Philippines, India, and other countries. Thank you very much, Ms. Zeynep Çakmak. And inshallah, we will start the first sessions 11:05. Technical sessions. We will continue with technical sessions. And we have, I think, 5 speakers in first session. So thank you very much for everybody. I hope we'll be successful in this organization, inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.